Should Charlie Hustle, aka Pete Rose, be reinstated to Major League Baseball? Many of the fans who loved him as a player for the Cincinnati Reds have long been willing to forgive him and desire an overturn of his lifetime ban. But for many others, the fact that for years he gambled on games while playing in and managing them, and lied about it for a long time, was such a gross violation of trust that he should never be allowed any official association with the game. But even at 80, he and some of his supporters continue to push for his reinstatement. Though ironically, the first website I found this morning calling for him to be placed in the Baseball Hall of Fame was, wait for it, a gambling website. Now, as a Christian, I'm all for forgiveness. I need it just as much as Pete. But as one who once worked in a business that required the strictest conduct with money, I understand the ban. As a baseball unenthusiast, I'm ambivalent. Not long ago, while eating out, a Major League Baseball game was on TV and Pete Rose was in the broadcaster studio. Seeing him dredged up memories, and one in particular was the time in 1988 when he charged the umpire to argue a call. During the argument, he shoved the umpire and then kicked dirt at him. That loss of control cost him an ejection and 30-day suspension. We laugh about it now, but in reality it was shamefully abhorrent behavior that demonstrated an undisciplined soul. That event relates to something that happened on the road as King David fled Jerusalem ahead of his son Absalom. After David crossed over Mount Olive and headed down the other side, he went to a village where a member of Saul's family lived. 3,000 years before Pete Rose, another man acted the same way. Shimei came out and began cursing, throwing stones, and even kicking dust at David. The text says he shouted, get out, you murderer, you scoundrel," along with a few other accusations that would have made Pete proud. Like Pete Rose, Shimei was an undisciplined soul. David, on the other hand, was far more restrained, and in an act of contrition, refused to let his soldiers kill him as they requested. Instead, he charged them to leave Shimei alone and leave the outcome in God's hands. 2 Samuel 16, verses 5 through 13. The man after God's own heart was like God's only son in refusing to retaliate against those who insulted him. 1 Peter 2, verse 23. What about you? Are you like David and Jesus when someone insults you? Do you refuse to retaliate? Or are you more like the Shimeis and Pete Roses of the world? Are you disciplined enough to leave it in God's hand, or like the undisciplined soul, throwing stones and kicking dust? The choice is yours. Thank you for watching Morning Minutes in the Bible. Until next time, this is James McClenny, hoping you have a great day.